Hi friends, Joe here. Oh man, I am very, very excited because this video has been a long time in the making. The Human Connection Hub, which is what we'll be walking you through today in sort of a 50,000 foot level looking down sort of view, has been an idea in this little brain of mine for many, many years. And so Scott and I and Kurt and the team have been working on different iterations over the years, throwing different things on the wall, listening to educators, getting feedback, creating more content, and we are so excited that the Human Connection Hub is at the stage that it's at. The fact that I'm able to make this video means that we've got it to that next level. And even though there's so much more that we are so excited to do, we're excited to share what we have created so far. So you might be a first-time viewer of the Human Connection Hub, or you may have been a subscriber at one point. Maybe you signed up for the free trial at some point. You kind of checked it out and you thought, hey, we kind of like what we see, but maybe not enough meat on the bone. That's kind of one of the things that we heard. And so we did everything we could to listen to feedback and then start creating with some strategy and best practices and evidence-based resources. We wanted to create what we think isn't the magic bullet, but is a really, really, really strong piece to a larger puzzle when it comes to talking about leadership and character and self-worth and self-management and everything, you know what I mean? This whole social emotional learning thing, which kind of gets a bad rap for the wrong reasons nowadays, I believe, is something that we all need to practice. And that's why we're so excited about this, because what we found is that we have really great live events. Many of you who are watching this, you have seen us in one of our live events, whether it's myself or Kurt or Tasha or Dow or anybody else that's on our team. We stand by that fact that we have rock star live events that really, truly move hearts. But what Kurt sort of challenged me 3 years ago when we met is what happens after these Rockstar Live events? What are you doing to support my staff, my parents, my students? How can we continue practicing this over a period of time with a scope and a sequence, and so that there's fidelity, like all these educational terms I'm throwing out? Kurt taught me a lot. And so we started kind of putting all of our best ideas into practice, and excited to share what we have created thus far. I will stop and say this is not just us. When I say us, it's not just Kurt, Joe, and Scott. It is a much larger team. Over the summer, last summer, we put together a team of over 12 educators from all across the United States that shared their different areas of expertise. We had people who focused on elementary, people who focused on secondary, people who focused in the leadership world. People from all walks of life were able to add their brain power and their heart power to this project. And again, this is 1.0. There will be 2.0, 3.0, but we don't want to wait until 3.0 before we start sharing everything that we've created, because we believe it's pretty darn cool where it's at. So this is the Till 360 page. If you're not aware or you're watching this, you have no idea who we are. We fight for kids. We do that by supporting educators, inspiring leaders, engaging families, and we do that in a multitude of ways. Sometimes it's live events, but sometimes after the live event, we say, what's next? Or if a school says, hey, we already had another speaker in for a live event, we're just looking for something to add to the depth of our work when it comes to SEL or whatever. This is what the Human Connection Hub is all about. It's very high quality content, it's very well organized, and it's differentiated over each different grade. So first grade's different than second grade, which is different than fourth grade, which is different than 12th grade, right? And we have a section for teachers. We'll talk about that in a second. But just overall, as an organization, we fight for kids, and we do that by supporting kids, educators, and parents and school communities. Let's jump into the Human Connection Hub. If you were to go to humanconnectionhub.com, you would go to this landing page right here, where you can either sign up for a 7-day free trial, or you can even connect with us and we can set your school or your building up right away to get going on this, basically right after you watch this video. So assuming you're there, You click on sign in, assuming you get a password and a login and all that stuff, which you get once you do all that other stuff. You'll be brought to this sort of landing page, which is broken into two different main buckets. You see, we have student content. Oh, yeah. Then we have educator content. Let's just take a quick time out, 20-seconder right now, right? Basketball coach throwing it on the shoulders. Listen, if we're not supporting adults in this work, we're not supporting students, right? We have to be working with the adults in a building, whether you are a classroom teacher, whether you are a paraprofessional, an administrator, a cook, whether you are a custodian or a coach, everybody who works in a school, bus driver, like we need to be talking about this with all of our adults, because what Kurt always says is when you run into a dysregulated kid, but you're the dysregulated adult, two negatives in that situation do not equal a positive. And so what other social emotional learning content out there has high quality content, not just for students, but also for educators? We do, and we're thinking about that. And the next step, well, we'll share the 3.0 version in a second, but let's just jump into 1.0. So let's click on student content, just because I'm assuming that most of you are kind of looking at that as your first and foremost. You'll look down here. Now, a couple things. If you are an old user of the Human Connection Hub, you can still use the hub in the exact same way. If you're a new user, that doesn't make any sense to you. Or if you're looking for the new updated version, this is kind of what we'll walk through right now. And at the end, I'll walk through the old way. But this is what we have now. You'll see on your right, we have all of our themes. We have monthly themes. You could call those monthly units, if you will. And each one of those themes is broken down into 4 weekly lessons. And each one of those lessons has 2 to 3 different activities that you can do during that week. Now, here's the caveat. At the elementary, all the way up through the 5th grade level, so K through 5, that's the case, 4 lessons per unit. When it gets to middle school and high school, we break that down into 2. And we'll talk more about how we're going to add to that. But right now, the feedback that we've received is that less is more. Do not overwhelm my staff. Give me what I need, and then we can add from there. And so we did that not because we don't have the content. It's because we want to make sure that we are not overwhelming the system, right? Okay, so each one of these monthly themes, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to 9. The ones that are in yellow, these are the ones that are up and ready and edited, and like all the different editing went through all that. So now we still have just a few more to go, but they're going to be coming up in the next month or 2. And so you'll see right on the right-hand side, we have 5 that are ready. These are these 9 monthly themes. You can use them in any order that you want. We put together kind of what we think is a decent scope and sequence, but your school is different than any other school. So you might say, hey, let's go respect in month 1, not get to know you or whatever it may be. Totally up to you. It's kind of a choose your own adventure on that. But if we were to click on any of these, let's just go to commitment and courage. Now, this is going to be kind of under the self-management competency on the social emotional learning sort of Castle's competency list. But when you click on that, if you scroll down, you will see all the different lessons, the weekly lessons that we have for each of the different grades. So 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, all the way down into lovely high school, into 12th grade. Like I said, 4 for the K through 5, and then each of the secondary 6 through 12, we have 2 lessons per theme. So let's click on grade 11. You'll see that, and you'll notice that it's just a set of Google Slides, so it's really easy to upload into smartboard or projector, whatever you're using. You just click here, and then you'll see each one of these has an at a glance, right? Kind of an overview. This is what you're looking at. If I'm a teacher and I have to deliver this, I don't want something that's going to be so overwhelming, and don't expect me to memorize everything. And so just tell me what I'm looking for. That's what at a glance is. You'll see each different kind of major component is broken down, including the competency, the materials that you need, the time that it's going to take in each of the different lessons, and the different activities. And then you'll notice, I'm going to go down just a little bit right here. Tier 2, there is a Tier 2 15-minute extension. Now, if some of your students aren't connecting at the Tier 1, if you're a counselor and you're working with smaller groups, Or if you have those like high flyers who are like, we can't get enough of this, that tier 2 extension activity would be great. There's also a little bonus reflection journal in each of the different lessons. So if you were to click here, you get to lesson day 1, right? It's got the link right to the video. It's got the slides that you need to click on if you want to use those, and everything that you need here to deliver that day 1 cornerstone lesson. Now we get into activity 1. This is like day 2 of the week. And this one, there is no video. It's just some conversations and a quick activity. And then we get into day 3, and day 3 looks a little different, right? There is a video. This is the 3 phrases video. If you've never seen that video, that's an awesome video. In fact, I'm going to click on it. Just click on it right here. See what happens when we click on here. You will be brought right to this video page. Right in this video page, you can play this video right here. And some of these videos, not all of them, but some of them have some family engagement plans as well if you ever want to send something home to mom or dad on that. Excuse me, I'm getting a little parched. So yeah, that is just kind of a look at one of the lessons from one of the units from the student section of the Human Connection Hub. Again, we could go through every single one of these, and in fact, we'll do that in future videos, but I wanted to go 50,000 foot level looking down. And so I'm going to go back to student content because some of you say, hey, I just want to find the Tilt 360 original videos, right? The Joe Beckman videos, or when we're going to add Tasha's videos here very soon, or her videos. We just want to watch these sort of videos. We don't care about the themes and all that. Well, you can still do that. If you go down here, you can click here, secondary videos. Booyah. And then we have self-awareness. We got 4 videos around that. Self-management. We got 5 videos on that. Social awareness. We got 6 videos on that, right? So we have all the different videos, not every one that we have in each one of these lessons, but kind of the cornerstone ones that we started with when the Human Connection Hub was at the earlier stage than that, if that makes sense. All right, so let's go back home. Let's click on this educator content because I think that's really important. You will notice the educator content doesn't look all that different than the student content. We have 9 monthly themes, 9 units, just like students. The same ones apply, right? So we can go right to, hey, let's get to know you, right? We'll get to that one right there. First things first, it scrolls you down, and right here you have a family challenge and chat. So now you can send this home to mom and dad. And so when they hear SEL, they're not like, oh my gosh, what is that, right? They're saying, oh, cool. So you're teaching skills that allow my kids to be better humans. How do I help? And then we give them some prompts and some different things that they can do at the family engagement level. But you keep scrolling down here and you will see, here we go, lesson 1. Let's click on that. Get to know you. Same idea, same design, Google slide. This is all about self-awareness. At a glance, just like I told you with the students, kind of the overall thing. So if you're a principal or you're a coach, or you're doing something like a instructional coach or whatever, you're leading professional development, everything is right here, from the materials to the lessons to the links to everything that you need. So let's just click one more. So here we go. Here's the video. First things first, watch this video. Here's a quick little 8-minute activity. Here are the steps. Here's the reflection. And here's one quick closing inspiration, right? So you can use any of this. If you got 5 minutes, you can just take the inspirational video. If you got 20 minutes or 30 minutes, you can add on to it. This is the best part of it. And then there's some cool other resources. This is where you can extend again. There's a YouTube video from Simon Sinek, one from Dave Stewart. Both of these are phenomenal. And so again, if you're looking to add to it for your educators, or if you have some educators that are chomping at the bit for this stuff, you can say, hey, here's some bonus material. So, all right. I'm trying to think what else we need to be covering here. I think for the most part, that is it. I guess I'll say is all we're going to do is continue to add. And the content that we are going to continue to add is going to be original content that we create. So it's going to be really important that we get feedback. What are you loving? What are you not loving? What are the ones that you're like, hey, if you only had so much time and energy, and budget dollars, you should definitely do more cartoons and definitely not do one of these things or whatever it may be, because that's what we're striving to create, is a hub that has so many, opportunities for different ways to learn, right? Some people love music, some people love stories, some people connect to people that look differently than Joe Beckman, right? And so we're going to continue to add different voices from different places and different spaces so that we can represent all kids out there in this country. And hopefully this Human Connection Hub starts to spread. I can't wait to continue to make more videos and to do more trainings around this. Like I said, it's not just me. You're going to see other faces. You're going to see Tara. You're going to see, well, I don't know who else is going to be on here, but we're going to have lots of voices that are going to be sharing different parts of the hub. And we're always here for you. If you have questions, you have concerns, you have thoughts, you say, hey, I want this in my school, let us know. Here's what we're doing this year. For the remaining part of this year, if you purchase a 2023-2024 subscription, we are including everything up to this year. So 2022, 2023. So you can start using the hub right now. You can use it over the summer if you have summer school or if you have leadership or anything like that. And then you can really organize it as we build new content onto the hub. We're going to create more themes. And then you can, as a team, create the scope and sequence that makes the most sense for you and your community. So, so we're going to be including that. So you get all of this year for free, basically, if you purchase a subscription to next year. What are the prices? We would love to talk to you about that. They're super reasonable, like really, really reasonable. Like we are just kind of getting this out there. And so for the early adopters, we believe we want to incentivize you to have the financial piece not be the hurdle. For the amount of content and the value you're getting, we have it priced, I think, at a very reasonable spot, specifically if you're a building or if you're a school district. So, and you want to buy them for all of your buildings or licenses. So let us know if you have questions on that. You can always email me. You can email Mark. It's just mark@till360.com, joe@till360.com, Tara@till360.com. Basically, anybody, just put a first name at till360.com and somebody will get back to you, hopefully sooner rather than later. But you're awesome. Love your faces. I hope you love this as much as we loved creating it. And we can't wait to share more. Take care.